going, everybody? It's Bourbon Recruit coming at you with another video. So I recently did the Bardstown Wheated, and I was like, hey, I want to put this up against Antique 107. And now I'm like, let me just put it up against some of the other wheated bourbons I have and do a larger blind. Now in front of me I have 5 wheated bourbons that I truly enjoy. You have the Bardstown Wheated at 106 proof. You have Holiday Soft Red Wheat at 100. Green River at, I believe, 90 proof. Okay, 107 and of course 107. Now this is a freshly cracked bottle, so I'm not really sure how this is going to affect this. And then the Screaming Titan, which I believe is 96. It is 96 proof. All right, perfect. So had my lovely assistant mix these all up. I'm going to take my sniff test, taste test, pick in order. Now I'm going to try. I normally don't want to do this. Normally I'm like, I just don't want to know until I find out, but I do it anyway. But I'm going to try to guess which is which, because these are all wheated bourbons, so these are all high wheat. They're all going to taste a little similar. I mean, obviously, you know, different mash bills, different places where they've, you know, were aging. Like this is California, this is Missouri, and then these 3 are Kentucky. But, you know, I guess we will see what is what when I'm done. All right. I feel like I'm gonna have to come back to this one. Nope. Okay. Yep. As you would assume for a wheated bourbon, little sweet. Caramel, I mean, classic wheated bourbon nose. Wow, that's punch me in the face sweet. Okay. Wow, see, that's bakery good. Now I just had the Bardstown, and this is reminiscent of that because to me, like, it tastes like honey bun. This is like bakery good honey bun sweetness, but I could be wrong. Maybe it's just like an overwhelming caramel note that I'm getting with a little bit of like of that bakery good sweetness with like the cinnamon. Oh, that's okay. That's nice. See, now I'm getting also bakery good sweetness off of this, more like kind of like a cupcake almost. I'm only getting it in the right nostril. Not getting that in the, this is weird. Okay. I feel like this nose is less than these two, but then again, I don't drink bourbon for the nose. I drink bourbon to have a good time with the people around me and for it to taste good, of course. There's no reason to drink something that doesn't taste good. Ugh, I'm a little disappointed in this one. This one's just kind of flat on the nose. Now this is probably going to be one of my first notes that aren't, like, that isn't really a bourbon note. It kind of smells like fresh paper. Like when you open up a pack of paper and you're putting it in a binder for like school. That's what I'm getting from this. And that's the weakest nose out of the 4 so far. For sure. Oh, that is all fruit. Wow, that is a fantastic nose. Oh, wow. Yeah, wow. So I feel like these 3 on the nose, real close. I think this is 1. Two, 3, 4, 5. So, wow. Yeah, that is a fantastic nose. All right, now to get into what matters. This life is too short to drink bad whiskey. I have a preliminary guess for this, only because, and I feel like this is where the freshly opened bottle kind of skews this a little bit, but I have a feeling that that's 107. My problem is it's not as good as I remember. And it's not like it's been that long since I've had 107. I just killed my last bottle and had to open up a new one. But it's just, if that's 107, I'm going to be a little disappointed. It's not bad. And I made sure to save a little bit in there to wait and go back to it. Maybe it just needs a second. But whatever's in there is, I feel like my least favorite of the 5 is probably Screaming Titan. And like, if I had to pick without knowing, you know, that the 107 was a freshly cracked bottle, is that would be the Screaming Titan, since it's just kind of eh. Compared to the other ones. Oh. Yeah. See, these are similar with the kind of, I'm leaning towards this being the Bardstown. More based off of the nose. I mean, I think these two are similar in proof. But, like, this is good. They're both good. Don't get me wrong. All 5 of these are going to be good. Just for me, it's more expectations of how good they should be. But most of these I would pick over, you know, as a daily sipper over most other bourbons because they're wheated, and I tend to float towards the wheated. Well, that's full all the way through. Simple. It's not very complex. Leads me to believe that it's the Green River as a 90 proof. It's the lowest proof out of the bunch. It's also the cheapest out of the bunch. Not that that matters. Some cheaper bourbon will beat out a more expensive bourbon any day of the week, depending on your palate. But not as complex, but it is full all the way through, so it doesn't just die out in the middle. That's really good, but just not as complex as the other two. And I feel bad because I'm like, oh, that's good, but like these two, I'm like, that's not what I was expecting. I'm still gonna put these two over this one, but like that is based off of the fact that like I tasted these and I'm like, this one is good, but it's still below expected. It's good. All 3 of these are good. That might be the worst out of the bunch. Wow. That means I'm going to have to assume that this might be the Screaming Titan, just based on the fact that it's just so flat. And when I first opened the Screaming Titan and I tried, I was like, this is so good. And then I started trying more and more bourbon. And I was like, went back to it. I'm like, not as good. Kind of flat. Oh, that smells good. Oh, that's fantastic. So preliminary guesses, I'm going to have to say that this is the Holiday, just because this is so good. And every time I try Ben Holiday, whether it's the regular soft red wheat or the Rickhouse Proof soft red wheat, they blow me away every single time. Taking a sip of this, it blew me away. And now that makes me feel a little more uneasy because none of these 4 really blew me away. I'm assuming this is the Screaming Titan, Green River, Bardstown, and then the Antique 107. And I'm really hoping that I'm wrong because, again, like, this is just a little disappointing. Okay, that's much better this time around. Less disappointed. Maybe it was just because it was the first one in the row and I was just expecting all of these to be home runs. Palates change. They change day to day. So one day you might think, oh, wow, this is fantastic. And the next day you're like, oh, it's not as good. And then the next day after that, you're like, oh, this is the best. Now, of course, if this is the 107, it is a different bottle. I don't know how similar every release of 107 is, but that's a little better this time around. Yeah, I'm going to have to say that this is the Antique 107. This is definitely, I keep saying definitely, I shouldn't say definitely because I could be wrong and then I look like an idiot. I think this is the Bardstown. This has got to be the Green River. Just, like, it's good. It's $35, good for sure. It's just, compared to these other ones, it just kind of, you know, simple. And some people like simple bourbon, and that's perfectly fine. I like simple bourbon too, but I want more complexity overall if I'm going to be sipping on it daily. Yeah. That's for sure Green River. I'm not even going to drink this again. This was just bad. I have to assume that's Screaming Titan. It is my least favorite out of the bunch. And I'm going to look real foolish if this is something else, but we'll see. And then this, I'm going to definitely finish this one. Wow. Just wow. So I think for my order, I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to turn these around. These labels are on here, I believe. Oh, that's clear. Because the labels on the actual Glencairns are the way she wrote it down. Okay, so the clear one is in 5th place. Redwood Empire. For me, no surprise. This, wow, that was extremely disappointing. I mean, I went a while saying like, oh, like this is so good, and I really enjoy this. Okay. Just very disappointed. This was the Green River. Okay, so 2 for 2 for me. Again, $35. Like, this is really good for $35. I don't know if you can beat something like this for $35. This is fantastic. I mean, it's unfair to put this up against, you know, 300 plus proofers where like they're all around 60-ish bucks. But don't get me wrong, this is a 4th place finish. This is a good 4th place finish overall. Like this exceeded expectations. This very much shot way under. 3rd place, that is the Antique 107. Wow, how the mighty have fallen for me. So Antique 107 went from being like my favorite bottle, like my everyday sipper. No bottle's ever gonna beat this. Obviously, that was early on in my journey. So you find more and you find stuff that's better. Now, what's surprising is this was the Bardstown. So I was correct on all. And I feel it's a little unfair because The Ben Holiday is just, I love the Ben Holiday soft red wheat. Like, this is like, wow. The Rickhouse Proof is probably my second favorite bourbon overall. And that's not saying that this isn't up there. These were both in my top 10 video of the bourbons that I have, which eventually I'll have to redo because I keep growing my selection every single day. But, so, I mean, if we want to order, I'm going to order these in first to last, first, second, third, fourth, and fifth. Just so it's not as confusing. This is just fantastic. I will scream this from the heavens. Ben Holiday soft red wheat, for me is, it's hard to get better than that. This, as a newcomer, trying to find this for a while, was able to pick it up. I can see why people, take it off the shelves pretty quickly. This is good. Antique 107, a little disappointed. Out of all 5 of these, the only allocated bottle here is the 107. This is the one people will wait in line for. I've waited in line a couple times to get bottles of Antique 107, and, I love it, but maybe it's just the freshly cracked bottle. I didn't have one. Like I said, I killed my last bottle. So for this one, had to be a fresh crack. I could have probably waited a little while, cracked this open, had a couple pours, kind of let it sit there for a second and really kind of, I don't want to say mature, but oxidize a little bit, get better, let it breathe, as it were a wine. Now the Green River, I'm going to say this, every time this is in front of me. This is one of the best budget options out there. This is so good. Now, like I said, this is less complex as, these 3. So you pay for what you get at $35. You can only go so far. Green River can't make bourbon of this caliber and then sell it for $35. And that's okay, because this is a 90 proof bourbon. You can mix it. You can drink it straight, drink it neat, put it on some ice, do whatever you want with it because it's $35. Nobody's going to judge you for doing something, different with a $35 bottle of bourbon. This is fantastic whiskey, especially considering the price. This exceeded expectations, as this was, like I said, shot under expectations. This is very disappointing to me. Screaming Titan, I was so excited to have found this. I bought it offline from California, and I was like, I can't find it in Ohio. I don't know if it's just this bottle. I don't know if it's just me. Maybe it's just the day. This was by far the worst. In fact, it was the only one that I left anything in there because it's just disappointing. And I loved this when I first got it. So maybe it's just a day, maybe in a couple of days I'll go back to it and see. But as of right now, like, this might be the only one up here that I'm not going to replace when it's gone. In fact, I feel like this is going to be the only one that I'm not going to actually, take a pour out of for a while, more of wait for my friends, see what they think. My one friend liked it when I first gave it to him. I was like, hey, this is really good. And he was like, yeah, this is good. So it's a little weird that now I'm going back to it as the bottle's going down. And I mean, yeah, I wouldn't say I'd say it's a little more than half, so it's not like it's oxidized too much, but I mean, cork's not even that dry. I mean, yeah, you never know what your palate's gonna be the day of. So it changes, like I said, like this was top notch for me. It couldn't be beaten. Now it's in third. I had another blind where this finished below Jefferson's Oceans. The one where they ship it, or Aged in Humidity, sorry. Aged in Humidity, where they send it to Singapore to like age a little longer, and then they ship it back, and then you pay $100 for a bottle because they're shipping it to Singapore and back. It's a $100 bottle for no reason. That beat this. In my last plan, I included this. So, you know, maybe it's more of I'm just kind of growing out of it rather than it's just the day. And it's not bad. It's not bad at all. But, yeah. Well, enough yapping. Let me know what you think. Let me know what your favorite out of the 5. Let me know if you can't find any of the 5, especially 107. A lot of people have been saying that, like, oh, like, I can't get Weller where I'm living, and unfortunately, you know, some places you can't. Ohio's known as the land of the Weller, so if you're ever in Ohio, this is going to be an easy one to find. It usually comes out every week, at least a couple times a month. A couple weeks ago, I got a bottle. I walked into a Giant Eagle as soon as it opened, which is a local grocery store. I believe here in PA, we have them in Pennsylvania. Walked in, you know, at open, nobody was there. Asked for an Antique 107. He said, how many do you want? I said, can I get more than one? He said, yeah, but different transactions. I was like, well, I'm heading up to Buffalo for a game, so a rugby game. So, like, I'm like, I'm just going to grab the one and go. I don't need any more. I usually only have 2 at a time, just because I have one that's open. I have one just in case I can't find another one before this one is gone. So let me know what you can find, what you can't. Let me know if any of these are, you know, better than what I said or worse than what I said, especially the Redwood Empire Screaming Titan, because, like I said, this disappointed me greatly. And kind of makes me sad because I was so high on this, and now it's the exact opposite. So again, maybe it's just, you know, the last couple times I've tried it, it's just not good. Maybe I just need to get a new bottle. Maybe this one is just a little too stale. But yeah, thank you for joining along, and till next time, cheers.